The blue glow makes it a Friday the 13th review. Hi. Welcome to the review for Jason Goes to Hell. I made her watch the weirdest and apparently gayest of the...
That was super gay. And I don't call movies gay, but I pointed out that you said the other one was gay.
I had never noticed that Jason has to make out with people to pass on the Jason slug.
He likes to make out with clean-shaven men, though. Which I don't blame him.
And, you know, I always thought the shaving scene was weird.
It's because he likes to make out with clean-shaven men.
I always thought it was weird because Jason Voorhees...
Get the burn?
Jason Voorhees drowns in a lake. And then he's an adult. And he's never shaved. And yet he is clean-shaven when they show his face, not after the second one, at the third one. So, when would he have learned how to shave? How? When?
But didn't he die? But they said he didn't die.
Sadly.
Unfortunately. It's really too bad he didn't drown.
See, Friday the 13th...
This movie was so weird.
I can appreciate both the Jason movies and the Freddy movies. The Freddy movies, for me, are creative. You have different nightmares, you have different stuff. And each movie kind of changes the storyline a little bit. Friday the 13th was always the same plot line. Teenagers have sex, do drugs, get killed. This one, they tried to do something different. This was New Line's first time that they had the Jason movie. And they decided, we're going to kill him. We killed Freddy, we're going to kill Jason. And then they were working on the idea of Freddy versus Jason, which is hinted at the end of this movie. With Freddy's glove. Although, if you look, the arm wasn't burned on the glove.
I wasn't looking that closely. I was
It's
busy
not burned.
watching the hockey mask just bend as it was being pulled under.
See, and I know there were a lot of weird things. Like, for instance, Jason passes from body to body in this movie.
By making out with them.
And he's not stupid. Like, how do I put this? Jason's always perceived as being mentally slow. In this movie, for some reason, he's smart. He can talk. There's a part where one of the cops is the Jason slug, and he talks.
That was so not a slug. It was like Alien. Like, you know, in the movie Aliens.
Kimber and I just called it the Jason slug movie. Because when it's crawling out of the guy's mouth there, when he's making out with the other guy, it looks like a tongue, and it looks like a slug.
But when it comes out, it looks like from Aliens. You know where in Aliens where it comes out of the stomach? That's what it looked like. And with that light coming out of the sky, the spotlight, Aliens.
You know, it's refreshing.
Aliens.
It's refreshing watching this movie for the first time in a long time. I haven't watched this movie in a long time. And it is one of my favorites. I had the poster for it. I enjoyed it. I watched it dozens of times. And you've shown me a whole new light for this movie. From the sky. A blue light, as it were.
Aliens. They like to make out with clean-shaven men.
The other reason I like this movie a lot was Aaron Gray's in it. Aaron Gray, of course, was Wilma and Buck Rogers, who was like one of my first childhood crushes. My God, she was gorgeous. And in this movie, she still looked good. I remember when this movie came out saying, oh, she still looks good for her age, which was younger than my age is now. So, you know, you put everything into perspective. It's like, oh, you look good for your age. Shut up, Shannon. So, there's a lot of nudity in this movie. Well, there's three girls.
There's not a lot of nudity.
It felt like it when I was a kid.
Oh, I'm sure, because you see a lot of bum because they have those ridiculous underpants that go like up to your way up natural waist, and the leg holes.
Yeah, they do.
The leg holes go all the way up to your waist, so it looks like they're showing a lot. But you only see boobs once.
Well, you see the girl when she gets out of the shower, and then the other girl while they're in the tent.
When they're having sex, you see.
And then the other girl when they got out from skinny dipping, she takes her shirt off to dry it off in the fire.
Right, but you only kind of, yeah.
So,
I guess
I don't
if
know.
You're a young boy, that's a lot of nudity, but to me,
I wasn't that young when it came out. I was 21 when it came out.
Okay.
But I was still a virgin, so that means something. Hey, I haven't seen those before, you know. do girls all have those? And I asked my friends, and they did.
They
really
do,
weird.
in fact, all have boobs.
So,
and butts.
For me, Jason Goes to Hell is still a 7 out of 10. And it's a 7 out of 10 because the gore is kind of amazing, as long as you don't know how physics works. He punches the woman in the jaw and she's dead, because of course she is. That doesn't even begin to make sense.
No. Why
Pushes...
was there rebar in the kitchen? She just happens to have a big chunk of rebar. I mean, I guess it goes with the machete on the wall in the kitchen.
Some
you
of those...
don't even use a machete in a kitchen.
When you're...
But a chunk of rebar?
When you're cooking beef...
And then
it could be
there was more
beef.
rebar in the basement of a wooden house. Do they know what rebar is for? That didn't even make sense.
Rebar's for stabbing people.
What? Why would you have a big chunk of rebar? That was so stupid. Good thing there was a machete on the wall.
See,
that was so, oh my gosh.
Elm Street's a dream. Friday the 13th is the nightmare. And this is why when they rebooted Friday the 13th,
that nightmare that doesn't make sense at all.
When they rebooted Friday the 13th and they used Sam from Supernatural, which means you spend the whole movie waiting for Dean, because he's just Sam. Jared Padalecki can't play anything but Sam. Mm-hmm. And just like Jensen Ackles can't be anything but Dean. Right. He's in a movie called My Bloody Valentine 3D, and he's just Dean.
It's like Mr. Bean is always Mr. Bean.
And but it's like he doesn't even, he can't act. I love Jensen Ackles, I love Jared Padalecki, but they can't be different characters, they're still themselves.
Right.
So...
There's a lot of actors like that.
In My Bloody Valentine, they try to make Jensen Ackles the villain, and it still doesn't work for me. I'm like, he's so not the villain. He can't. He can't. My Bloody Valentine 3D is pretty good, too. I've got that. I've got the 3D glasses. You might actually not mind that.
I don't like 3D movies.
But it's the pink and green 3D glasses.
I don't like that. I can't see 3D with those.
Have you done the pink and green ones before?
Red and green.
Red and blue.
Is it
These
red
ones
and blue?
are... Yeah,
red and blue.
These are pink and green.
How would that be any different?
It's totally different. I don't know why, but it's totally different.
I don't know. With the red and blue... red and blue, I can't see the 3D. It's all blurry to me.
So, anyways, for me, the where the movie loses points for me is Creighton Duke doesn't make any sense.
The whole movie doesn't make sense.
How Creighton Duke knows that Jason jumps from body to body when it's never been seen in movies before. It's not even mentioned until this movie.
Hey, there's a charcoal blow... Okay, no, the movie from the very beginning doesn't make any sense. That's why I was like, is this real, or are they shooting a movie? Because this doesn't make sense, and then he explodes, and they're all just, yeah, woo! It looked like a corny movie that they were shooting. And then they go to corners, and he's able to say how many times he was shot, even though it's in pieces. And then he takes the heart and eats it? And then all of a sudden, there's all the little fairies. The fairies. Here come the fairies.
They're the rage things.
Yeah, fairies. They're fairies.
They're rage fairies. And then the rest of them
related to the aliens, because at the end,
the rest of the movie is Jason.
The aliens at the same time.
Jason making out with people.
Clean-shaven men. The one guy wasn't clean-shaven, so he had to help him with that first.
Because he take his clothes off.
He did.
And restrain him.
Yes, that's what I pointed that out, too. I was like, what? And this wasn't the gay one? Now, why did he have to strap him down and strip him?
If you pay...
now he's shaving him. And they're making out. And that's when Shannon goes, oh.
So,
maybe.
If you pay attention in this movie to the non-gay stuff, you'll notice that Jason's using the Book of the Dead for this, which again shows Jason's, I don't know a nice way to put this, that he's not retarded. So every other movie they talk about how Jason's a little slow and he's a little dumb, and this movie he's not. He's using the Book of the Dead to do these things. Now, it's an interesting idea because, of course, New Line Cinema was aware they wanted to do Freddy versus Jason, but they also wanted to do Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. Now, Bruce Campbell's storyline is this. He asked, do I kill Freddy? They said no. He's like, do I kill Jason? They're like, no. And he's like, so what's the point of the movie? So Bruce Campbell didn't get that there's no point to horror movies, and it's just going to be a bunch of cool fighting. And then nobody dies. That's the whole point.
That is kind of weird.
But there's a comic book of Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, and it's supposed to be really cool. Yeah. But so in this movie, the Book of the Dead is there.
Gay as that movie was?
And the dagger that she stabs him with almost is almost identical to the dagger they use in Evil Dead, which you wouldn't know because you haven't seen Evil Dead movies. No. But they have a dagger. It's a Kandarian dagger.
Is it like Excalibur?
Well, if you stab the demons with it, kills them. But it also spits blood all over the place, and then they kind of wither.
Of course it does.
And they kind of explode.
Of course it does.
And there's blood everywhere.
Do you have to stab him from the front?
No, because Ash stabs.
That was stupid.
Ash stabs his girlfriend in the back.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
While her face is melting from the fire she just had it in.
So gross.
You watch her face melt. It's kind of fun.
Pass.
So if you want to watch that, we can watch that.
I'm good, thanks.
Actually, the original Evil Dead was criticized for its abuse of women. It was seen that because the three girls all turn demonic and just get absolutely crap beat out of them, that it's sexist. Although Scott in the Evil Dead movie is just a complete wuss and dies very easily, and then even as a demon he sucks. So I would argue the other way around, that in Evil Dead they make it look like the women demons are to be feared and the male demons just sort of there. And in this movie, the biggest fear is Jason kissing you.
Yes.
If he kisses you, it means he wants inside your body.
There was only one woman with the alien thing, and then I don't understand what happened to that.
He was born of a Voorhees, but it didn't matter if she was alive or dead. So because she was dead, he could go, and then he's alive. And he's alive with the same clothes on that he was wearing when he got blown up, and with the hockey mask. So the hockey mask and his clothing are part of his DNA. And it knew to make him the same form that he was when he died.
So the aliens came down in the form of a spotlight and fairies. Oh, like in Doctor Who in the Are You My Mummy?
Oh, we're...
Okay, so it's like that, where the alien fairies see the people and they think it's part of the animal. And so they make him, and the clothes and the mask are part of him, because they think that that's the creature.
You know, in Jason X, that kind of happens. Jason gets shot and blown in half, so he's dead. And the machine can tell that he's broken. So it rebuilds him, but it also rebuilds the mask. So he's a cyborg. So it creates Cyborg Jason, which is damn cool. Really cool. But really stupid. So Jason X, you're torn between it being really cool having Jason in space, and the fact that half of the cast is the cast from Andromeda, and they're using the same sets that would later be used for the show Andromeda, just different coloring, brighter lighting on show Andromeda, and it's a fun movie, but it is stupid. But see, I don't mind stupid.
Clearly.
I don't. What would you give the movie out of 10?
That was a horrible movie. That was so dumb. I would give it very, very low stars. Like 3. I think 3. That's being very optimistic.
See, I gave it 7.
Of course you did.
Which means our average score is 7.
I don't think that's how it works. Mm-hmm.
Aren't you glad I didn't make you sit through the other 6 movies?
Oh my gosh.
Because I explained to her that Friday the 13th parts 2 through 8 are basically the same movie reshot. Except Jason takes Manhattan, which is just stupid.
Is it kind of like Home Alone in New York?
It's worse. It's
checking.
Because Jason walks through downtown Manhattan, which is Vancouver. And you see SkyTrain.
You told me about that.
You see the bloody SkyTrain.
Isn't that the one you said it was like in Horseshoe Bay or something?
Yeah. Horseshoe Bay is the entranceway to New York, apparently. And every now and then they show stock footage of the Statue of Liberty.
Right, of course.
So, and it's not even the same color. It's a different film stock. And it's like, meanwhile, in another movie, and now back to Jason. And it's really weird. It's like they go Amazon Women on the Moon for 2 seconds, and then back to the movie. Right. That's another movie you haven't seen, I don't think. Amazon Women, I think I have it. Oh, I don't have it. I need to get Amazon Women on the Moon. That's a fantastic movie.
That sounds like a great movie.
Amazon Women on the Moon is one of those 80s movies where it's just an anthology, but it's a bunch of comedy. It's like, basically the movie is channel surfing. They have the show Bullshit or Not, where it speculates that Jack the Ripper was the Loch Ness Monster. Is it possible that the Loch Ness Monster was Jack the Ripper?
No.
Bullshit?
The end.
Or not. And it shows, like, it has, like, like a recreation. It's way better than what we just watched. But yeah, I would give that a 7 out of 10. Because it was good.
That was so weird.
It was good. If you...
And you called the other movie gay. Those two guys were punching and wrapping their legs completely around each other.
Well, because they're friends.
Clearly.
You know, when you're friends, that's how you fight. You fight close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
I can't even use MMA as an excuse because I think that movie came out before MMA was a thing. Because MMA fights look pretty gay.
Pretty friendly.
They're. I know, and people ask me every now and then, you watch UFC? And it's like, no. Because at some point I watched guys wrapping their legs around each other's waists, and I'm like, you know what? No. Nah, I'm just done with this. Because every fight ends up with this, and I'm done. I think I'm done. I think that's it. I'll go back to watching wrestling for something a little more hetero. Where guys, you know, pick each other up and slam each other. But there's girls in that. More so than the UFC.
Yes.
So the Jason slug was a fail for you.
It was so dumb. It wasn't a slug, it was an alien.
But now that you've seen the Jason slug...
by fairies.
Now that you've seen the Jason slug movie...
Okay.
Now you're ready for Freddy versus Jason.
Isn't it stupid like this one?
Well, because you see Freddy's glove drag Jason's mask down.
Yes.
So the idea is that Freddy is using Jason to try to come back.
Okay.
He uses Jason.
Instead of dog fire pee?
No, that won't work this time. Because you got to remember that... so where we end up with Freddy is... at the end of part 4, he's killed everybody. All the Elm Street kids are gone. Where it ends up in Freddy's Dead is that all the kids in Springwood are dead. He's killed every single kid in that entire town.
Okay.
So
why hasn't everybody moved? If you live in a town that violent where all the kids are dying, wouldn't you move? If where we lived, all the neighbor kids were getting killed, wouldn't we move?
It depends on the rent. I mean, if the rent's
I'd
good...
go camping somewhere if all the neighbor kids were dying.
Yeah, but if you go camping, then Jason kills you.
But if you're in a different town, you're okay.
And I don't want Jason making out with me before he kills me. It really doesn't interest me.
Clean shaven. He's really into that.
Oh, God.
Which means he doesn't have to strap you down and strip you first.
Oh, God's sake.
Just saying.
I hadn't anticipated that. I really... You know, it's funny how you watch a movie dozens of times and you don't see that.
I think it's really funny that you didn't see that.
Well, it was obvious in Freddy's Nightmare, Freddy's Revenge.
See, and that one I didn't think was so gay.
Oh, it's gay.
Comparatively? No. This one was way more, like, it was actually gay.
Freddy's Revenge
where it looks like two guys were making out for a lot of
Freddy's
this movie.
Revenge is Top Gun gay, where you can tell that Maverick and Goose have spent too much time in the shower together. And Iceman kind of likes to hang out and chew gum while they're, you know, playing wingman with each other. But, get that out of your mind. Just try it. It's burned in your retinas, isn't it? But, this was weird. This was sort of... It's more of a... Deliverance kind of thing. Look mighty cute, boy. I'd like to put my slug in you. Like, you know. Bet you look mighty cute, clean shaven, boy. You know. Squeal like a pig open wide, and then, you know, in goes the slug. I'll never see this movie the same. I don't even know if I can watch it again.
You're welcome.
I think I'm done. I don't think I can watch it again. I think it's over.
Mission accomplished.
You can't do that to Freddy versus Jason. You can't. That's not right.
Or can I? See, I don't do that with movies, though, but this one was super gay.
I'll warn you now, Freddy vs. Jason does have a cheap knockoff of Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Really?
Very clearly modeled after Jason Mewes. And badly.
No.
He's a stoner character that swears a bunch, and he's dressed like Jason Mewes and talks like... It's very obvious that Jason's supposed to kill Jay and Silent Bob. Or something. Maybe Jason is Silent Bob because he doesn't talk. Except in this movie, where he grunts, groans, screams. I never heard him fart, but then again, maybe during the makeout scene they slipped one in there and I just didn't notice. The guy melting's a good special effect, though.
It was gross.
The one thing that I picked up on this time around...
Spaghetti out of the neck.
The one thing I picked up on this time around is you could tell that the creators of this movie said, okay, we've got these special effects.
How can we use that?
And we don't know how to get these into this movie, but they're going to be really gross and cool, and we can make them work. I've wanted to make a guy melt. I think we can do that. How do we work that into a Friday the 13th movie? An actual Friday the 13th writers would look and go, you know, I thought our movies were stupid shit. This is way worse than that. This is way worse than that. Yeah, we're out. We're gone. And somebody thought of a way to get a guy to melt. Like a candle. Maybe he was made of wax.
That didn't even make sense.
No, it didn't. It absolutely didn't. Unless Jason's like radioactive.
There was a whole lot that made no sense.
Unless Jason's radioactive. Because I can understand, like, okay, he uses up the energy and the body he's in perishes. Alright, but melts after he's left.
Maybe, okay, so the blood was all black from his fire explosion, and it was all hot, and it was cooking from the inside, and then eventually gets to the outside, and his skin melts. Ta-da!
Nah. The black blood thing is weird, too, because at no point in the other Friday the 13th movies is there even an idea of that.
Exploded, and the heart looked all cooked and black.
But
remember, and then the guy
again,
to eat it. Cause
again, where I defend it is that to me, New Line was trying to do something different.
Oh, it's different.
And they said, okay, every Friday the 13th is this hokey, over-the-top slasher, and he shares everything in common with Michael Myers except the mask and where he's killing. Michael Myers is killing in Haddonfield, and Jason's killing in Crystal Lake. And even Sean Cunningham, who came up with Friday the 13th, admitted Friday the 13th was a take on Halloween, because they're like, that movie's making a lot of money. How can we make one like that? And they decided to go with more gore and more nudity as a way to draw in the teenagers, which offended the reviewers and got the movie pulled from certain theaters and banned, which is what they wanted.
Right, I was going to say, which would draw more attention to it.
And it did. It made it the #1 movie, which is sad, because the original Friday the 13th movie is a giant piece of crap. And I say that as a person who would give it a 5 out of 10, and the remake was so much better. Maybe we need to watch the remake first. Maybe we need to watch the remake before Freddy vs. Jason, so you can see a good Friday the 13th. Well, no, because it has Sam, and then it has Danielle Panabaker, who plays Killer Frost on The Flash. I was married to her in another life. I'm pretty convinced. And I don't mean that in a sexual manner. I just mean she is really cool.
Uh-huh.
She's really cool. There's no sex with her. She doesn't do that kind of thing in movies or TV. She's never done it. She's very puritanical. I mean, hell, in the season premiere of Flash that I watched today, she's wearing ripped jeans and a tank top, and I'm like, holy crap. She never did that before. So I don't expect that to last. I'm used to her being in a lab coat and long skirt and, long sleeved shirt, and everything's all covered up.
All right.
And she's that way in Friday the 13th. She's all covered up. And she's helping Jared Padalecki, whose sister disappeared. So Jason murdered these teenagers, but the body of his sister was never found, so he's out looking for his sister.
Okay.
So, and then all the rest of the characters are just stock characters. That you're kind of like, all right, how are they going to die?
Right.
And there were 13 kills in it because it's a Friday the 13th.
Okay.
But the idea is that they want to make a part 2, but they want to make a reboot. And then there's some saying they want to do something different. Like there's 3 different ideas out there what they're going to do with the franchise. And you can see it's a franchise worth saving. It's clearly a good franchise.
I don't know how they made so many ridiculous amount of movies.
There's been 13 Friday the 13th movies.
Holy crap.
No, 12. The next one would be the 13th. Because there's Jason X is the 10th. That was the 9th that we just watched. And then Freddy vs. Jason is the 11th. Then the reboot's the 12th. The next one is 13. And it's because they're quick.
It's so ridiculous.
They're quick. The budget's less than $10 million. And they'll guarantee you $40 million at the box office. Plus $10 million overseas. So you're going to make a... Okay, so if your budget's $9 million, you take advertising, you always double the budget. So that's an $18 million budget. You're guaranteed to make about a $20 million profit. And considering the fact that they come out with shitty movies like the remake of Spartacus, which nobody wanted. Ever. And John Carter, which is a good movie and it's ambitious, but stupid. And those movies lose a ton of money. And they take forever. And they're in post-production for years. Friday the 13th, you can knock them out in a couple weeks. You and I could take that new camcorder of ours. We could go out and shoot a Friday the 13th movie tomorrow. Let's go out and find some girls and say, hey, you willing to show your boobs? I'm making a Friday the 13th. Yeah, all right. And then we've got our movie. All we need is 2 sets of boobs. Just 2 of them.
2 boobs or 2 sets?
Well, see, I think you have to pay extra if they show both. So I think as long as you see one of each and one of the other, I think we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, I got this all planned out. This is
Sure
really going to work. I've honestly, I have wanted to make a Friday the 13th movie my whole life. We used to go up to Cultus Lake, my friends and I, and we used to say we could totally do a Friday the 13th movie up here. But we were all short, and to be Jason, you got to be tall. So all I need is to get Kimber to be Jason, and we're styling. But, of course, he'd have to stop drawing dicks on people after he kills them. But that could be Jason's thing based on the movie we just watched.
Yes. He's into that kind of thing.
You know, Friday the 13th, part 13, the mushroom stamp. And then it'd just be, you know, he could teabag people after he kills them. That would be really funny. I think I could write a good Friday the 13th movie. I think I could make a good Friday the 13th. I think I could do a Kickstarter right now, raise the money, and do a Friday the 13th movie. Give me $50,000, and I could do a Friday the 13th movie that would kick the crap out of all the rest of them. I would get into Jason's childhood. I would get into how he became Jason Voorhees, the killer. I would get into what was wrong with his mother and why she snapped. I'd get into everything. And then I get sued by Paramount. And New Line. And Jason Voorhees. Well, he doesn't like his likeness being used like that. You never know what might end up. It might end up in a crappy movie.
Yeah.
So there you go. Leave a comment below if you want to see me make a Friday the 13th movie. I think I can make a good Friday the 13th movie.
This is really long.
I know.
Half hour.
But it's a movie review, so people watch long movie reviews.
I don't know why.
Stone Gremlin Productions, one of my favorites, the sarcastic, that's not it, not sarcastic, movie reviewer. Stone Gremlin Productions, the Cinema Snob. That's it, Cinema Snob. He's great. Love the guy. And Red Letter Media will spend an hour talking about crappy movies.
Yeah, I know.
And 9 times out of 10, they're drinking like I am. Mike's always drinking. He's drunk all the time. And then Rich Evans will say something that could be taken the wrong way, and then they make a meme out of it. Usually about, Bill Cosby or 9/11 or whatever. They tried to do a review of Star Wars Christmas.
Oh.
And the first review was 45 minutes. And they posted it, but they didn't even touch Star Wars because Mike kept making 9/11 jokes. He couldn't stop making 9/11 jokes. And it was absolutely the most hilarious thing I've ever watched. Which is why Red Letter Media is still a channel connected to my main channel. And should be connected to this one, because really, honestly, those guys are awesome. And their reviews are always really long. And they go on tangents like this.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
True.
So, help me. You guys tell me, should I make a Friday the 13th movie? Should Yvonne and I make a Friday the 13th movie? She can help me with, you can help me with the gore effects. You could do costumes. Oh my god, you'd love that. You could make Jason in whatever image you like.
Glitter
Jason. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Couldn't be any dumber than the shit we just watched. Alright.
Then he'd look super gay and fabulous.
Looking for some hot stuff, baby. Just Jason breaks into song. A musical. Jason musical.
Yes, there we go.
Hot stuff. And you sexy thing. Every time he makes a kill, he just breaks into song. You sexy thing. Do. There you go. Robert Carlyle can play Jason Voorhees. The one from the Full Monty that was also in Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He could be Jason.
Mr. Gold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mr. Voorhees. He could still be gold. He just fling glitter at people. Yeah. And his mask could be all glitter. You could design the hockey mask. You like hockey masks.
Do you like hockey masks?
Yeah. There you go. A Star is Born. You could be Jason.
I'm a girl. I don't know if you noticed.
She sees gender. I don't. And I'm called sexist. See? And you think that I want to have the 20,000 subscriber video done at Hooters for reasons other than supporting poor girls who can't even afford a full-sized shirt? These poor girls.
Oh, Shannon.
Yes.
Oh, Shannon.
What?
Oh.
Jason goes to hell. And so did she.
What?
You watched this movie.
I did watch this movie.
And it felt bad, didn't it?
It was pretty bad. It was so ridiculous. You should have had. Remember that one movie we watched that you were keeping the tally? You should have kept a tally for this one for how many times. Wait, what? No, what?
Oh.
There was a lot of times.
Freddy's Revenge, when I was tallying all the gay moments and all the WTF moments. Yeah. There are a lot of WTF moments in this. That was the funny part, was when we were watching, I kept saying, now it's going to get weird. And she's like, no, what? And then it did. It got weirder.
To get weird?
It got weirder. And he's going to shave a guy.
Strip him. Strip him. Tie him down. Shave him. Then make out with them. And
it's proven later in the movie that to take over someone's body, you can do it while they're dead. So why does he do it this way?
It's way more fun to make out with them.
Jason's got some severe mental problems. Maybe I like Jason in part 3 better. When he's a serial killer and then they hint that maybe he raped a girl. Yeah, part 3 they hint that he raped somebody. It's really weird, but it's in a flashback, and it's Chris telling this story, but she has this big meandering monologue that's so weird that people just laugh at it. And even the actress that played Chris admits it's really funny and stupid. And she can understand why everybody quotes it and makes fun of it, because her storyline about apparently being raped by Jason Voorhees just sounds hilarious. It sounds really funny, because her acting in it is just... I loved her so much as a kid.
Of course she did.
Because she was the sweet virginal girl that gets away at the end. but the story is really stupid.
I'm shocked.
it was in 3D, and when I was a little kid, that Friday the 13th Part 3 was on Super Channel every Friday. So Super Channel had the horror movies on late at night. My mom wouldn't let me watch them, so I'd wait till my mom was in bed, and then it was the old cable box where it was all scrambled.
Yes.
But if you messed with the toning a little bit, you could get the scramble lines out of it, but it was really, really grainy.
Yeah. So
I could only watch it really grainy. So I would stay up late and I'd watch horror movies and Playboy videos. Really grainy in the middle of the night. So for years I thought girls' boobs were really grainy.
Whatever.
Yeah, I did. I had no idea they were high def. Huh, alright. That's enough for me. I'm guessing that's probably enough for her too. For tonight. Jason Goes to Hell. Great movie. Highly recommend. I recommend it just for the weirdness.
That was so ridiculous.
All right.
There was rebar in the kitchen. Next to the machete on the wall.
Oh, I love watching horror movies with you. Oh, my friends and I never figured that out.
Seriously?
No. Just rebar, whatever. Sure. Yeah,
No,
all right.
You never thought that was odd that there was a big chunk of rebar in a kitchen?
No.
What about the machete? Did you find the machete odd?
There's always a machete in the movies. There has to
It's
be.
hanging on the kitchen wall.
Yeah?
What would they be using it for?
For Jason
Cutting up
days.
potatoes?
Jason days. Probably a big festival in Crystal Lake. Jason days, Jason days. Ooh, Jason days.
And what was with the guy at the end? Through the whole movie, he's like just snapping people's body parts and squeezing them. That guy, he just toss it around, throw his head into a rock, and he just gets up like he's fine. Hit him in the face with a shovel. He's fine. Don't want to break him. We'll just toss him around a bit.
Oh, yeah, because Jason has to fight with Steven.
She needed to bring Excalibur and stab him from the front.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just stab him in the back instead of reaching around?
Because the camera's in the front. You gotta go around, because then that way, if you're holding somebody and you stab them, you got a good chance of stabbing yourself too. It's efficient.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's really
and
efficient.
And then they gotta make out. That was super. Man, that just got them all hot.
You know,
all that killing.
In horror movies, that happens all the time. That couples end up like having sex, and I'm like, wait, aren't your friends dead?
Oh,
aren't you sad?
My mom's died, and we found her in the basement, and we just saw that guy get squished to death.
Hit me now.
I just stabbed that guy. But I need
do it now.
I need to make out with you right now.
I've never felt so alive.
I'm sure I just left my baby in the bassinet all by itself. Even though there's a guy on a murderous rampage. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, what a great movie.
Anyways, I think you said you were going to finish this.
I did. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And I apologize for the length of this video, but you know what? What the hell?
Well, they don't have to watch the whole thing.
No, nobody will.
If you're bored, just stop.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for putting up with it. Because
so ridiculous.
At least it's a short movie. It doesn't feel short when you're watching
No, it doesn't. It's so weird.
Good night. If you're a hockey fan, I'll talk to you guys in the morning. So, that was fun. And for you entertainment people who are watching this, thanks for getting through this. And
for those couple people,
let's get that Friday the 13th movie going. I'm gonna make a Friday the 13th movie. This has got to happen. We got to make a Friday the 13th movie. I can totally find people that'll do it. There's lots of guys that'll show their boobs too.
Oh, I'm sure there are. There are a lot of guys that would show a lot more than their boobs.
That's because they're guys.
Because boys like to do that frequently without being asked.
We could call it Friday the 13th meets Nightmare on Elm Street, the gay one.
You could really make it a gay movie.
Goodbye, horses.
Because guys are all into that.
Oh. Yeah?
No, boys are...
Yep.
I know.
Yep. That's pretty much how it works.
I know.
And the really homophobic ones, it's because they're attracted to the guys.
Yes.
I'm attracted to you. Stop being gay. All right. Good night, everybody.